Hello, Annie and Lisa and whoever else is going to be watching this video. This is a 10 to 15 minute Mat Pilates class inspired by Reformer. I'm filming this as a project or a task for my Pilates teacher training. Bear with me, I'm just popping on my timer so I don't keep you guys. We're going to begin laying on our back. So all you need is a mat. If you have a chair or a footstool like I have, great. If not, don't worry about it. And you might also need weights or a can of chickpeas. So coming on to your back, we won't use the elevation just yet. Laying down on your back, find a nice neutral spine. Allow the shoulders to soften into the earth. Soles of the feet on the floor. Feet are roughly hip distance apart. And then taking the hands to the hips, let the head be heavy on the floor. Sit the navel gently up and in so there's a little bit of tension in the tummy. And then imagine there is a compass placed over the pelvis. So north is up towards the belly button, south is down towards the feet, and then east and west are on either side of the hips. So I'd like us all to start to tilt the pelvis south, and you'll notice as you tilt the pelvis, some space occurs between the mat and your lower back. And your shoulders gently draw down towards your hips. And then go in the opposite direction, tilting the pelvis towards north, up towards the belly button. And you'll notice that you seal off the space between the lower back and the mat. Again, tilt the pelvis. Exaggerate the movement just so you get a feeling of the difference between an anterior and a posterior tilt of the pelvis. And then back towards north. Let's do that one more time. Allow the pelvis tilt towards south. And notice that the chin starts to tuck towards the chest as you do so. And then as you tilt the pelvis towards north, you seal off the space between the mat and the lower back, and then find a position for the pelvis that's kind of somewhere in between. From here, we might have to scoot forward a little bit. It's a little bit less graceful if we actually had a reformer set up, but I don't think everyone has that luxury at home. We're going to place our feet up on an elevation. Again, feet are roughly hip distance. Ground down through the heels. You can flex the foot. And then begin to roll the pelvis towards north. Draw the belly in. And then start to press the feet into the footstool or whatever it is you're using, lifting the hips high. Take a breath in here, and then beginning by softening through the chest bone, begin to lower vertebrae by vertebrae back onto the floor. Allowing the tailbone be the last to connect. Again, start to tilt the pelvis towards north. You'll notice the sit bones start to reach towards the backs of the knees, slowly curling all the way up. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, begin to soften back towards the earth. Now, if you're like me and you've practiced a little bit more yoga than Pilates, you might be inclined to take a big arch through the back, reaching the heart towards the back of the room. But here we want to incorporate what my lovely teacher Annie calls a Pilates sandwich. Imagining we have a sandwich between the sternum, the chest bone, and the sacrum, just above the tailbone. And we want to create a long spine here, drawing belly button in. Let's take a breath in here and then start to soften back towards the earth. Let's do one more here. This is really working my hamstrings as I aim to keep my footstool stable. So similar to if you were in a reformer class. Note the Pilates sandwich. Send the knees towards the front of the room. Breath in and then soften all the way down. If you're on your own or you're a yogi, take a sneaky happy baby if you want, which I do because I just did a leg workout. Didn't think this through before I started teaching this class. And then what we'll do is grab our weights or chickpeas, taking the knees to tabletop, keeping the navel drawing in so core is active. Make sure that the knees are over the hips. What can happen is sometimes we draw them a little bit close to our chest, bit of a cheat. So knees over hips, shoulders soften to the floor, pelvis in a neutral spine, somewhere comfortable between north and south. Chin gently tucked. Weights in either hands, reach the hands up to the sky. Take a breath in. Draw belly button to spine as you exhale. Reach the hands forward, peeling the shoulder blades off the back. And then lowering slowly back to the floor. Let's do this a few more times. Drawing navel into the spine, peel on up. And then lowering all the way down. Let's do a couple more. And lower. And as you peel up, come up with control. A little bit of shakes are good. Soften back to the floor. One more like this, and then you can continue like this if this is enough, or you can begin to add a leg extension. So as you come up, extend right leg away over the foot bar. Coming back as you lift the hands high. Inhale, reach forward, left leg extends away. And reach the hands high. Right leg extends as you reach fingertips away, draw navel in. Come back. Left leg extends. And if this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, both legs extend as you come up. Knees to tabletop, arms reach to the sky. And extend. Tabletop, hands to the sky. And reach. Let's do 5 more. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1 will hold. And as you hold, let's flow their legs for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees to chest. Place the chickpeas, the weights, whatever it is you have to the side, and then roll on up. So we'll come to stand. It's a little bit easier without the reformer. You can just stand up rather than worrying about where the carriage is going to slide. Coming to stand just by the foot bar. Right leg stays as it is. We'll send the left leg back into a lunge, spine diagonal to the floor in line with the back leg. You can keep the hands on the foot bar, or you can place hands to heart center, although we're not in a yoga class, so maybe hands to the hips. And as you really ground down through that right foot, staying stable in this right glute, right leg stays as it is, Very light on the left tippy toes. Draw the knee in and then extend the leg. And draw it in. And extend. Socks on a wooden floor might make this a little bit easier. My mat is quite nice and slidey, slippy. If your mat isn't as slippy or soft, get even lighter on those back toes. So really stabilizing through this glute. The right one. Navel's drawing in. Shoulders back and down away from the ears. Let's go for 3. For 2. And 1. Hold. Place the left leg at the top of the mat. Place all the weight into those left toes, knees nice and bent, tailbone back, belly draws in, hands to heart center or to the hips. A little scooter position at the back of the sacrum. Weight is into the front foot. Gently glide the right leg behind you and then draw it back and back. Knee bends. Leg extends. Trying to stay as stable in the front leg as possible. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Extend it back and hold. Square off the hips, find length through the spine, shoulders back. And then both feet together, hands to the foot bar. Step back into plank pose. Now from plank, we find that Pilates sandwich again where we allow the tailbone to lengthen, draw the belly in, flat spine, shoulders away from the ears. Heels extend behind you, lift up through the backs of the knees, draw navel in. Take a full breath in and out. 5 breaths, breath in. If you really want to challenge yourself, feel free to do some push-ups. I'm not going to do that because there's no way I'd be able to speak at the same time. Last breath in. As you exhale, begin to pike the hips high for a modified down dog, allowing the heart to soften. Knees can bend here, finding length through the spine. And then knees down to the earth. Sit back onto the heels. And take a big breath in. Long breath out. And we're done. Namaste, or whatever it is you say in Pilates when you finish a